thing. If you roll into the start of a live stream whilst you're already in a conversation, people are like, "Oh, it's like hearing a conversation whilst like you're in a pub or something," and then everyone gets a little bit confused, and it's great. Hi guys.
They're like,
Welcome.
what's going on?
Oh yes, welcome to Leeds 101. Series in which we talk about everything Leedsy to someone who isn't yet a full Leeds United fan, just explaining a little bit of the context, what's going on, a little bit of the chaos. As you know, we lost this weekend. As I know, the 49ers lost this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been a great weekend for anyone, to be completely honest with you. How are we feeling outside of the various sports losses and stuff?
Honestly, it's been a weird week. It's like the weather's starting to crash a little bit over on my end of the world. So it feels like everything's just kind of twisting in a different direction and, a little heavier than normal, but it's okay. We persevere, we keep going. But I mean, yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is like the highlight of the week so far.
You must have had a really bad week so far.
It's been terrible.
Yeah. On our end, we went from what was fairly miserable weather last week to weirdly warm over the last couple of days, and it's like I know that like the UK weather is stupid. You get like summer, which isn't actually summer; it's just sort of warm-ish, except 3 days where all of the heat has gone, and then you get like autumn, and then you get second summer, and then you get second autumn, and then you get third summer, and then winter hits like a train. Stupid. I don't understand our daft little island.
No.
Yeah. As always, by the way, chat, we will be keeping questions corner open throughout whilst we discuss absolutely everything and everywhere and everyone and all that sort of stuff. So if you've got any questions at any point for either of us, chuck them at us and we'll be happy to answer. I think my camera's a little bit more zoomed in than normal. There we go.
I've been trying to fix that with mine, and I'm like, I'm on like a rolly table now. Got a little rolly desk. It's amazing. I can stand and do my podcast. It's fantastic. Mom and Dad came through. They're like, "You gotta look professional." I'm like, "Okay." So they bought me this new little desk.
Do that. We'll do professionalism. It's fine. Yeah, I forgot that my desk does standing stuff. I might have to do that.
Dude, it's lit. It's kind of fun. I think we go for that vibe next time. It might put us in a different zone.
Well, just a standing about having an out vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Leeds United, Leeds Rhinos lose. Leeds Rhinos is the rugby league team that we've got.
Okay, I was going to say I have not heard this one.
Yeah. Leeds United lose. 49ers lose. Crap weekend. Very, very crap weekend. And I think on this one, I'm going to ping contact details between the two of you at some point. It's going to happen. Yeah. Just not right now.
We're going to have a natter. A natter. Is that how we say it? A natter. Sorry.
The more you aim for the British accent, the more I want to aim for the Canadian accent back. But I know I can't do it. I can't do it.
Do the A.
No, I refuse. No.
That's not what you're a boot, right? We don't sound like that. I can't believe people think that we say a boot. I've never heard that before, like from a Canadian.
I'm going to listen to everything you say from now on. Also, I wouldn't say that you're going to like have a Canadian accent. I'd say you're sort of being in Italy a hell of a lot. I imagine the Canadian sort of faded.
Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of Italian, Canadian, yeah.
And the sort of general like worldwide media-y accent is American, because it's like if that's all the media that you consume, then it sort of becomes that. And like,
probably,
there's not much
I do get American
media.
a lot.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah. Onto actual like relevant things rather than slowly losing our nut. We're so good at talking ourselves into a crisis at Leeds United. I mentioned this a little bit prior to the stream. I've not said the big bad news yet, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, no.
We're having conversations now about our manager, and I think these conversations are rather silly. For a little bit of context, this season so far in the league, we've had 5 games. We drew the first 2. 2 after that, we won. And the most recent one, we lost 1-0. I don't think we look bad.
Same. It's okay. We put the L in Leeds this week, right? Sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
You see, the thing that you don't know is one of their players did a tweet saying, putting the L in Elland Road, with Elland Road being our stadium. And it's like, you little shit. We've not even got a rivalry or anything. I don't even know who you are. Did you even play? I don't know, because as I've explained on the channel and community post and stuff, I wasn't able to watch the match itself. I've watched some highlights afterwards. But yeah. As from an outsider's perspective, is it a little bit wild to think that we need to sack a manager 5 games into a 46-game season?
100%. I was just going to say, I'm trying to think about this. Like, we're in week 2 in the NFL, or going into week 3. So we've only had 2 games. And people are doing the same thing. They're already saying, we need to get rid of this coach, not our team. Our team is just fine. But, there's certain coaches, like for the New York Giants, for example, a lot of people are saying we need to get rid of Dable. Like, he's not good. Sack him. He's done. He's going to be the coach to go this year.
David supports, or does he support the Jets?
No. He's the Jets. There's 2
Why are there
teams
multiple
in New York.
No, that's not fair. You can't have 2 New York
because it's New
teams.
York. What do you think, man? Pompous.
Just call one of them like the Manhattan Mavericks or something like that. Like, it's just...
if I'm being honest, it's only really one team in New York, because both of them suck, so they're collaborative. I would imagine. I wouldn't want to cheer for either of those teams. Sorry, David. They got a win last week and we didn't, so I can't really complain. But
over the season, they add up to enough wins to eventually look like something. It's fine. On this one, this is Locks.
No.
Locks is not a Leeds fan. He is a Leicester fan. Last season, we spent the entire season trying to get promoted, with Leicester being one of the bigger rival sides. They succeeded. We didn't. And me and Locks have made this sort of agreement. So you know how, like, I've consistently talked to you about, like, various bits of YouTube theory and stuff?
Yeah.
I've got an ongoing idea, right? That people care about narrative and stuff. And if there's not a narrative, and if there's not, like, a good and a bad and, like, tension and stuff like that, you're going to be in a situation where you don't, like, get as engaged. So basically, we've got an agreement with each other that when we see we're respectively live, we're just going to play the villain. We're just going to be a bit of a dick. So here's Locks wanting Daniel Farke out, which, fair enough. I don't know what this is a clip of, but it scares me.
I wish we could click on it. We can't. Maybe.
We can.
Ooh. We
but
can
only
copy paste
the live chat. Oh, that's clever. I didn't think of copying and pasting. That's because I'm an
that's
idiot.
us. Okay. Nice.
I hoped it would be us. It's a YouTube clip. I'm just going to see
which. It could be anything on YouTube, right? That's why I was like a little nervous. I want to see some more puppies. Maybe it's puppies. It's just
maybe it is puppies. Yeah. I can't believe it's put the L in Leeds rather than, like, Crystal having to apologize to David for having a go at his team.
Yeah.
But what do you think on this sort of thing? So the other day, did a stream where I was basically saying that my approach to stuff is you might as well be an optimist, because if you're a pessimist and it goes wrong, the extent of the happiness that you get is, well, I was right. And you get a little dopamine burst, and you get to feel a little bit smug for about 15 seconds. But the other people, yes, might be disappointed. But they've had, like, an entire season of happiness. And so I'm in a point where, like, I don't hugely want to be in a spot where I've said a thing before I say it with hindsight, because at some point, everything's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And if you're in a spot where you're just approaching it like that, then it's like you're living for the future, not living now, and you're living so a future version of you can be smug. And I don't quite understand that. It's a very weird approach.
That comes from within, though. That's somebody that's dealing with some issues. You know what I mean? Like, people who can't see the optimism and, like, be happy about everything in life and find some way to at least smile. Something else is going on. The smugness, when you get, like, you're excited about being right because you want them to fail, is just so sad. Who wants to live like that? I don't know. I'd rather be an optimist. Yeah, we get let down every now and then, but it humbles us, and then the wins just feel even sweeter. I don't know. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, I refuse to be humbled. Sorry.
Yes, obviously you don't want Daniel gone.
It's It's very, very, very early. I think if looking at the grand scale of the season, how many games are in an NFL season again, excluding postseason stuff?
So there's 18 weeks. We get 17 games because we have a bye week.
Yeah. We have played in an NFL equivalent about 2 games.
Okay.
And it feels like that scale isn't enough of a scale to think that's definitely not enough to say it's all gone. Especially when imagine that one of those 2 games you've won and one of those games you've lost. It feels chaotic to do that. And even the match that we lost, I don't think we necessarily deserved to lose because we created more chances than them, and there was a single mistake towards the top of the pitch. Our player that was on the ball slipped, fell over, and then they just broke from it and managed to score. I know.
That's so bad.
I know. But
kind
thankfully, he's not a player that we're too emotionally invested in yet.
Okay, good.
So it's fine. It's all good. I do have some bad news.
No. Oh, no. You can break my heart.
And I have warned you about the bad news. That there is something coming. Also, Andy, I feel like that is a completely wrong comparison to make about a German football manager. I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but you understand why that is an incredibly stupid thing to say, right? You understand why that is absolutely not wrong. Not on. No. But do you remember our favourite player for the season?
Yeah, Danny boy, right? This is my favorite, the guy with the puppies. No. Sad. What do you mean? Okay, it's not a season ending, is it?
No.
Okay.
He's fine enough.
Explain everything to me from start to finish, man. What happened to him? How long is he out? What are we feeling?
Okay, so the international break that just happened, the match before that, he wasn't available for because he had a little bit of a thing with, I think, his hamstring, if I remember right, that was going to keep him out until maybe the game that just passed, maybe the next game. When we got back from the international break, we learned that whilst he was trying to sort of recover from that injury, it got worse, which means that he's now out until, at the very least, the end of the next international break. Which is
when?
That's a good question. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. As far as I know,
I feel like it's a bit from now.
It's a good bit from now. I think it's 3 or 4 weeks, but there is some relatively good news in the match that we're attempting to get to. That is after the international break. So that could be okay. That could be fine. We could see the favourite. We could always not see the favourite, but you never know. We stay optimistic. We stay hopeful. And hopefully he's not too broken because
what type of injury does it say that he has?
I think it's a hamstring problem. I'll have a Google one. I love that when I search Dan James injury, it shows Dan James head injury because that head injury. It's an issue with his hamstring.
But is it like a strain? Do we know if it's like a strain? Is it like an actual, like, there's obviously not a tear because that would be out for the season.
Yeah, we've not got the details is the issue.
Okay. So let's be optimistic. Let's say that it's a strain, right? And let's say it's kind of mild to, like, somewhere in the middle there. It says it can take weeks to a month. So up to a month is like where we're looking at.
Yeah.
Which literally puts us at like a month of, like, around the time we'd go to the game. So he should be back.
In theory, yeah. And that was a month from last week.
Okay.
So that's even more flexible.
2-3 weeks left, man. Yeah, that's not too bad.
I'll be completely honest with you.
Oh yeah. Google makes me feel like I am, so it's fine.
We are complete medical professionals, and we are perfectly placed to discuss Dan James's injury issues and the fact that he will definitely be back in time for us to watch him, even though I'm 99% sure that he won't be playing that game anyway.
Oh, okay. But if he's on the sideline, I can yell down at him and be like, Danny boy, I love you.
We love you, James.
Okay, can I say something too, though, which is pretty crazy? We actually just had an injury to one of our guys as well happen, which is nuts. I feel like Leeds is paralleling. Deebo Samuel. He's number 1 on our roster. He's our wide receiver, but we call him a wide back because he runs like a running back and does a lot of different schemes and options to be a running back for our team when we need it. He's even thrown the ball like a quarterback before. Like he does everything. I call him the Swiss Army knife because he's just like one of those guys that does everything. And so he just got a calf strain, which is not terrible. And he has his own podcast now. So on his podcast yesterday, he told everyone, oh, I'm only going to be out like 1 or 2 weeks max. So it's not so bad. But we're without him this weekend. Yeah, but I mean, it's just we're kind of piling up with a couple injuries. We have an injury to Christian McCaffrey. I was telling you about this last week. It's one of those things that I feel like it's like when it rains, it pours. All these things are starting to happen that are like, oh my God, this is going to be one of those seasons, where we're just scraping by, like with the guys that we have. I'm optimistic still. Like I said, it's kind of the same thing with Dan. Like it's the same kind of timeline. It's not as bad as it could be, but like obviously you don't want these guys out. But I think we'll manage without them. Hopefully.
Yeah. In the same spot where we'll manage without Dan James, but he's someone that's really good to have because teams like we played at the weekend, like Burnley, they tend to be a fairly attacking team-ish. But when teams play against us, they sort of think, okay, we'll just sit back because we're really bad at breaking down those really, really deep lines. And someone like Dan James, who is happy to just run at someone, is really, really useful. But if he's not here, he can't be really, really useful, which is significantly less fun. But that's okay.
So
because
who's swooping in there for him now? Who's filling in?
I believe because it was before the international break that he missed his first game. It was Manor Solomon, the guy that fell over to give Burnley their goal, which admittedly, not the best of starts.
Okay,
but it could be worse, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, this is devastating news to the 49ers community, but I'm sure we'll all get used to this as we're going forwards.
Yeah, this is normal. In 2020, we were the most injured team since like 25 years, like the most in 25 years, the most injured team, which was nuts. So like, I feel like as long as it doesn't get to 2020 levels with injuries, I'm still feeling okay.
Yeah. If you're in a spot where it's been worse before, then you're pretty much okay. On this one, I think I agree because what he is, I don't know if we discussed it fully last week, but he's the guy that just runs. That is what he will do forever. He's just built like the Duracell bunny. And if
he'll play the entire game, never gets subbed off, just runs.
Occasionally you'll sub him off, but that's to stop him getting injured. Seems like didn't necessarily work this time around.
No.
But he's happy to go their box, our box, do the defensive stuff, do the attacking stuff. And our current right back, Jayden Bogle, not the best at the defensive side of things, which means that having Dan James on that side is brilliant. And the guy that is now in that position, Willie Donto, less good at the dropping in and defending stuff. Which means that we've lost a little bit at both ends of the pitch, which is a little bit unfun. But then again, unfun is probably completely fine. There is this, but we're not going to get into the deep lore of why we especially don't like Everton, although it's incredibly funny what's happening to them right now.
Okay, you got to give me a little teaser with it, though, because you can't say that, and then I'm left wondering what's happening.
Okay, so start of COVID, Everton are a team that are sort of mid-table in the Premier League, spending a hell of a lot of money to try and push themselves higher and higher and higher up that table. A little bit of an issue for them is COVID, which means that their income collapses.
Right.
And finance rules in the Premier League are based on, rather than the amount you're allowed to spend just as a spending cap, it's based on the amount of money that you get in and the amount of money you're allowed to lose. So you can lose in the Premier League on, I think, squad costs and transfers and managerial appointments and stuff like that. You can lose £35 million every single year. I'm just going to have a very, very quick look at what Everton's losses looked like at that point. Cool. So in the 22-23 season, for example, Everton reported financial losses of £89.1 million.
Oh my God, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How? Like, where did that money go? That's so crazy.
Buying crap players, paying said players way too much money, and just bad decisions, basically. And
Okay.
these are sort of accumulated over a 3-year period, and you get £35 million a year to average out. So in theory, if they were able to profit around that and sort of bring that average down to 35 million quid, they'd be fine. Didn't do that. Didn't do that even a
No.
little bit. So in
Bad.
21-22, for example, the year before that, they made losses of £124.5 million, which meant that for those 2 years alone, it was over 200 million quid, and you've got to account for one more year as well, which obviously they didn't make a profit in.
Sheesh.
So they are just throwing these like financial fair play rules completely out the window, which obviously we're a little bit annoyed with, because as a club we have sort of committed ourselves to staying within them, because one, it keeps you more financially viable. Two, you don't want to take big penalties and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
The season that we got relegated, we went down in 19th place. The team below us didn't break the financial rules. That's fine. The 3 teams above us have all been found since then to have been vastly breaking the financial rules and spending more than us.
So technically, we shouldn't have gone down.
If the rules worked, we shouldn't have gone down.
This is where I get confused and annoyed, because I feel like, why is it like such a hypocritical topic where some teams are exempt and then other ones it's like, no, it's fine. Like, I don't get it.
I don't think it's that they're exempt. It just took them so long to do anything about it. So we went down 2 seasons ago. It was only last season that Everton got any form of punishment on it, which is annoying. And the team that went up above us, well, one of the 2 teams that went up above us last season, Leicester, were only found to have not been punished for their various financial shenanigans is because of the date that they submitted their paperwork, because they found a loophole. And it's like, you've still cheated, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is why we think it's very, very funny when Everton lose. And if I talk you through Everton's season so far, they have... This might take a moment to find. No, it won't. There we go. So, they started the season against Brighton and lost 3-0. Then they played against Tottenham and they lost 4-0. Then they played against Bournemouth. They went 2-0 up and lost 3-2. Against Aston Villa on Saturday, they went 2-1 up and lost 3-2.
Oh my God.
And last night they played against Southampton, who were Everton were 1-0 up. Everton lost on penalties.
So they're just terrible.
They're useless.
Okay.
They're useless. Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was going to say it's never going to be as bad as Everton, right? Like, that's an optimistic way to look at Leeds. We're not Everton.
That's the thing. Even then, they're moving into a big, shiny new stadium next season, and it's sort of like, how are you managing to... I see that this is where a big chunk of the financial losses come from, but that financial loss isn't even related to the financial loss that you put in the accounts for this regulation, because you're allowed to do infrastructure stuff without it counting. So they're just, even outside of buying a stadium, they're still spending too much money. But I'm really looking forward to them getting relegated and having to spend this first season in a crap league, but a nice shiny stadium. That should be
I was just gonna say, they're gonna look cool at least.
Yeah. They can pretend to be all shiny and special whilst they're having to play against let's think what, but sod it, at this rate, Wrexham.
Oh, sad. I like Wrexham though. I do like them, but they're the league below.
They're like below us right now.
Yeah. Do you think they'll come up?
Annoyingly,
I know we're getting
yes.
off topic. Yeah?
Because the annoying, I think at the moment they're top of League One, if I remember right. They've lost once. So look at the table. Yeah, they're top at the minute.
Dude, what has Ryan Reynolds done? Honestly, he's just like taking this league all the way up. Like, what's he doing?
Spend a lot of money. Spend a hell of a lot of money. Because in the leagues below the one that we are in, basically you don't have that financial regulation.
So you can put your own money into it and pay players to come over, kind of thing.
Yeah, the extent of regulation below the league that we're in is, as long as you prove that you've got the funds, spend it.
Wow.
Which,
that doesn't seem fair.
yeah. And the way that this has been put is he's bought the league, which, I mean, fair enough. I kind of get it to an extent if you've got a connection with the club, but I'm sure that all of the other clubs that are in that conversation are sort of like, but we're also here, guys, and it's a little bit annoying.
Where's our Ryan Reynolds?
Why can't we just have some bloke from Hollywood?
Yeah.
Everton's losses
He's
down
a good
to the
Canadian boy, by the way. We like him.
You just like Canadians. That's just the rule.
Yeah. He grew up where I grew up. Of course, I got to root for the guy, right? And he's Deadpool. Deadpool's like one of the coolest superheroes of all time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. On this one, yes, a lot of their financial losses are down to the loans and stuff, but they're not the stuff that apply to PSR and financial fair play and things like that, because it goes under different brackets and stuff like that. This is a good way of putting it. When it comes to us following the rules and everyone else getting off with breaking them, it's the Leeds factor. Everyone hates us. We kind of like it like that. It's what we're used to. It's the norm.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at other bits and bobs that have gone on throughout the chat. Having football chats with Beth and feeling proud. Baby Zebra is in a position where she knows even less than you about football, in the way that doesn't even watch the sport much.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
I don't know if the feminist natter is going to be in a football direction. It feels like that would be quite difficult to do.
We can chat about whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, sure. A little bit of money does a lot in the lower leagues. That is absolutely true. Because there's just so little cash down there that if you're able to inject money, then it's fantastic. Evie, I do not want Willie Nomto to get any more into kicking people. That's a problem. Do we really want Junior Firpo getting more yellow cards? There was an old sort of renowned thing where Leeds were seen as like dirty Leeds because our team would be quite kicky. And that reputation sort of stuck to now where we don't really do that anymore, but we've still got the reputation.
Yeah.
I don't understand
why people
this
don't
metaphor.
like Leeds? How come you're saying everybody hates us? Why? Because being dirty? Dirty Leeds?
That's the perception, yeah. Also the fact that we tend to be quite loud about being Leeds. But yeah, I don't understand this metaphor too much, but you might. I'm not certain.
You're like the Bruins of hockey. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I hate the Bruins still to this day. I'm not going to lie. They beat my Canucks back in 2011 and won the Stanley Cup. And then our whole entire Vancouver city got turned upside down with a riot, and it was terrible. So I will never, ever. I don't even like reading the name Bruins. I hate the Bruins. And I don't hate a lot of things. Like, I'm a very loving person, but I hate that team.
There is another team that we hate. I ain't going to go into that one on stream because I feel like it will make people a little bit angry. That's what I'm going to explain off stream, and we're going to explain why we don't discuss it.
Okay, but I was going to say engagement, man.
For context, for the people in the chat, I'm just going to say Turkey, and you'll know exactly what I mean. I mean, the mental attitude and pride for playing for one another in the club. This is true. This would be good to have. But we've also got the slight issue of that's just not really a thing in football at the minute. It's sort of people like money, which fair enough to them. I get it, but I'd rather you didn't. Yeah, it's to the extent that you... Oh, that went wrong. You know who we're referring to when we talk about scum? Manchester United. The ones abroad, many people will not just refer to in the slightest. It's not sporting rivalry, is the way to put that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Voldemort. This is the Voldemort of the league.
Yes, but more serious.
Okay.
And not in our league, abroad. But I'll explain at some point later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll circle back.
But what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the Cardiff match that is coming at the weekend. Because I've not done any watching of Cardiff, particularly because Cardiff seems like a miserable place that one would never want to go. But they're currently at the bottom of the league. They've not gotten a single point. Have scored 1 goal in total. Don't know about you. Does that scream we're going to win, or does that scream we're going to lose 1-0?
I mean, we should beat them easily. But this is the kind of game that I call a trap game. You know what I mean? Where like you go in there and you're like, oh, we got this in the bag. We don't even need to try. This is fine. We're amazing. These guys are right at the bottom. It's all good. And then somehow they squeak out a win, the other team. You know what I mean? These are the kind of games that I worry the most about because we should beat the hell out of them. But then sometimes that doesn't always happen. I think we still win. Like I'm calling a dub city here, but I don't know, man. We don't sleep on the little guys. Don't ever do it.
Yeah, I think the way that it's been discussed at the moment is they look like they're so bad that they are within this close of firing their manager.
Oh,
Which I mean, when lots and lots of people are saying, like, yeah, we need to sack our boss. I've never backed that because it's sort of like, no, he's a person with a job, man. Give him a chance.
I know, man. It's not close to Christmas though. We're okay. It's sadder when it's close to Christmas. Get it out of the way now. He has some time to get
really
his job. It's
point.
fine.
Yeah, he can he can find seasonal work in Waterstones or something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just having something pop to mind, and it's like I've just checked Power BI to see if I can watch the match at the weekend because I swear I'm doing a shift at that point, but I might be okay. Very
this weekend's
nice.
Banana Land, man. There's a lot going on this weekend.
There's too much going on, and it scares me.
Same.
We've got to think about things and do things. I don't do that.
This is the only day off I have this week, man. Isn't that wild?
What? What in terms of events?
6 days a week all of a sudden. Look at me.
Okay. I mean, I'm probably in those shoes when it comes to like prep stuff, but I've not had that for like events for like quite some time.
It feels like it's a lot, but it's fine. I don't ever say no to people when they want to swap shifts and stuff. So I guess like they're just like, oh, she'll easily take it and just throw it on my way. And I like, yeah, it's fine. We don't need to get into that. That's work stuff, but
it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll ignore it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. 92
It'll
days
pay for the
Christmas.
trip there, which is exciting. To you,
The
to go
trip
see
where?
Leeds.
Oh, for the football. I thought
You're like,
wait, I thought you were doing
Over
the
my
thing
head.
in Newcastle, so I thought it'd be like expensed or something.
Kind of, sort of, we're working our way towards that. But it's going to be on me first, and then we're going to see what happens.
That sounds complicated. That's a
Yeah.
long conversation to get into.
It's
Yeah, I
fine.
think. Yeah, that's because they would tend to be quite bony and lumpy, and I feel like sleeping on a person is not the most comfortable way to go, but that's completely fine. There is this. When it comes to football managers getting sacked, they get their entire contract paid out, or they come to an agreement with the club to receive a big lump sum of money. So whilst
So they don't. What? How is that fair? I would
Because they've
want to
got
get sacked.
that's fair. Because they've got a contract in which they are technically sort of entitled to that sum of money, and if the club like finishes the contract and doesn't give them that sum of money, you would be very sued, very sued, which is it makes
Okay,
sense to
but
me because
shouldn't
from like
there
a
be
workers' rights
clauses in
point of
there?
view.
Shouldn't there be clauses in there that say like, hey, if you don't get enough of wins or you don't have, you're not doing your job, then you only get this much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not right to just get all the money even though you're not doing your job.
Yeah, I think clubs that are smart will do that sort of thing. But you're not going to get a manager that is just going to accept a contract where it's like, if you don't do your job, then you are fired and gone.
True.
Because that'd be like, well, I'm just
That's the
not going to work there. Then I'll find another football club that doesn't do this. On this one, Paul, I fully agree that Leeds United are not in a problem. What you are experiencing today is a cheeky little dose of, if I say everything's fine in a thumbnail and title, you wouldn't be here. And here we are having a nice conversation. I don't think I said that we're having a problem. It's very specific.
What did you say in the thumbnail?
I don't remember. Now I don't think I said there was a problem. Did I say there was a problem? No, I said so ... things went wrong, and they did because we lost.
Yeah.
Things aren't still wrong. Things are still fine. It's okay. You could make pillows out of people. I've seen a lot. Righteous one, what level of therapy is that? How deep into the therapy world are we here? I don't know why we're talking about fruit. I love how chaotic this chat gets from time to time. It's fantastic.
Jim also made a comment that I'm wearing a hat again. I wear hats almost all the time. I'm a big hat girl.
Does that not
he's like, this is
mean?
the second time that I've been in here and she's wearing a hat again. Yeah, I like my hats, man. Got to support the team.
Does that not mean like permanent hat hair?
Dude, I have a baby. Like, we don't care about the hair most days, so we throw a hat on. That's what happens.
That's fair. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to beat Cardiff. What do you think? Are we going with a yes? Are we going with a no?
It's Dub City for me, man. Dubs. There's no way we lose to the bottom of the barrel team, right? Like, I just don't see it happening.
We've said that before. We've said that many times before. I'm going to pop it in as a poll in the chat.
Okay, yes. Let's see what the chat says.
I've specifically phrased it as Dub City, so we're rolling with that. That's going to be a thing now. And we are going to bring it over whilst that is happening to Questions Corner. Have a little bit of a natter. It's going to be good. Twitch says crisis time. Twitch says crisis time, and YouTube says crisis time. But it's crisis time with a question mark. Because if I put a question mark, it doesn't count. This is what I learned when I was, in fact, writing for a website like Give Me Sport. That you can write an article on anything, and if you title it right, it'll do quite well. I think one example was on a transfer deadline day, I did a full article on the fact that there was a light on in one of the Elland Road offices, and it did like 8,000 views and went to the top of news now. Yes.
Incredible.
Fantastic. I thought I'd come on Bully Joe. I'm bully proof now because I have my emotional support. One of the
baby.
Yes, one of the many questions that we get time and time again. Do you like pigeons? What's your opinion on pigeons?
Honestly, I've grown up around pigeons my whole life, man. And pigeons are one of those birds that like they don't really do anything for me. I'm not like I like them, but I don't really care for them. You know what I mean? They're just a pigeon. They're everywhere. There's a lot of pigeons. Every now and then you see like a really white pigeon, and I like that. That's cool because normally they're like all colors, whatever. But you get like this cool looking albino pigeon. Those ones are cool. Those are rare.
The white pigeon. At what point does a pigeon become a dove?
Ooh, it might be a dove in disguise. I don't know.
Stealth dove. On the pigeon stuff, the reason I picked out this question that I would normally ignore a lot of the time is we have big beef now. We have YouTube beef.
Oh.
Joe Wainman of the Just Joe Football Show, a friend of the channel, a close friend, also raids various channels, and he tends to do a Just Joe raid. People that watch this channel were big fans of the pigeon raid, and as I've said, I wasn't too bothered about it. However, in one of his most recent raids of the channel...
Oh no. Is that a gun at the pigeon?
We're at war,
at least it's a water gun. It's a water gun.
It's a water gun because YouTube won't allow proper gun.
True. Twitter allows proper gun, which is weird. If you put the gun emoji, it turns into the gun.
But that's very Elon Musk, isn't it?
It is. I was going to say it's very typical of what he would do.
Yeah. He feels like someone that just shoots pigeons and is like, yeah, it's fun, it's great. Let's go for it. Why not?
He's a weirdo.
But yeah, dear the chat, if we do raids at some point soon, we go hard. This is war now. We will not back down. And we will cover that entire channel with bird shit. Also known as comments. We are not actually doing poos, just to be clear. I've just realised I've forgotten to tag you in the title, which I have done now. I am also going to pop your channel in the chat. So if anyone isn't subscribed, hop on over there, subscribe. It'll be great.
We're trying to get my thing to 1,000. We're close. We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're making progress.
Trucking along. Yeah. I've got a show I'm going to do today at some point. So if you guys want to pop on over and hear me talk about the 49ers and give my crown to somebody this week, even though the game was kind of stinky and I don't know who I'm going to give it to just yet, but there's a couple options. I got some spicy takes for you guys today.
I think you give it to the concept of American football. Just something a little bit loose,
Straight
something
up.
a little bit wild. Yeah. Do it a weird way.
Yeah.
What time were you planning on doing that?
I'm thinking around like, we'll see. I think maybe 5-ish my time, so like 4 your time.
Okay, I'll see if I'm around. I'm not sure if I will be, but I will see if I am. Because it won't be because I've got Betis versus Getafe, but that's fine. I hope everyone in the chat will be instead.
Come through, everyone.
A
Commanders fan.
Joe Wayman shot a pigeon. Normally I'd be all for that. However, in this case, I disagree. That's the thing. We are all, in a way, the pigeon that got shot. Oh. So I mean, if we want to extrapolate that metaphor, he shot Evie. He shot Pete. He even shot you, Paul. Even though you want us to talk more about football, we are talking about football. We're just having a nice casual chat. It doesn't have to be all football all the time. It's fine. Clearly, you may not be familiar with the vibe on this channel sometimes.
No. Half the time, I don't know where I am. It's fine, guys.
Danny also got shot, as did Scooby-Doo too. To be honest, though, if you've ever known anybody who's kept pigeons, the neighbours don't always like it. They shit on the washing. And you know what? We shit on the washing that is Joe's YouTube channel. We do. That metaphor's becoming a little bit too stretched. So I think we drop it at this point. Can I say hi to Evie? Yes, I can say hi to Evie. Am I saying it on your behalf? I'm confused. I don't know. That's good news then. It is, yeah. We do talk football, we just vibe all over the place. It's okay. We're fine.
Yeah.
Outside that, I don't know what other bits of Leedsy conversation are going on other than people generally shouting at a manager. But then again, I don't want to do that because it feels pointless. And
where are we at with the chat thinking we should do a little poll asking if they want to fire the manager? I want to see what they say. Because I don't want to fire him. I like him.
In terms of the chat, by the way, we are currently at 35% thinking we lose, 6% thinking it's a draw, and 59% thinking it's a win. But that's a good amount thinking.
Okay, I mean that's not so great though. This is a bottom of the table team that we're going up against. This is
paranoia is ingrained spiritually.
No, we need confident fans. If we don't it's like if you don't believe in Leeds can't believe in themselves. It's like Santa. Like you have to believe, guys. Come on.
So what do we do with the manager is going to be the question. I'm going to do 3 options. I'm going to do keep him, wait for the international break, because obviously if we lose the next 4, then it becomes a little bit difficult. And I'm going to go get rid as the final option. And I hope, being my chat, I've guided you in the right general direction. But if not, I'm going to have to do a lot harder work. Is Evie going to give us a good rundown on the 49ers? What's your name again? Person that I'm on the stream with.
Crystal.
Not Evie.
I'm not Evie.
No, you're not Evie.
That's okay. It's all good.
Fine. But can you give us a good rundown on the 49ers? Is that going to be a thing that we do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm apparently just a poser fan. I've got him in the background. This is George Kittle, but the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm delusional as always. We've got a couple dudes injured, but they're going to come back. We've won 1 game. We've lost 1 game. Last game was kind of a trap game, like I was telling Joe already. It's just one of those games that we probably went in there thinking, yeah, it's going to happen. We're going to win. And we didn't win, and that's fine. But we've got a team that we're playing this weekend that is super banged up. They're at the bottom of our division right now, and they've got a lot of their players that are out. Same with us, but a lot of their starters that are out. And it looks like it should be a walk in the park for us. But again, I'm not going to sleep on this team because you never know. This is the team actually that we're going up against that has the same colors as Leeds. It's the LA Rams. I don't know if anybody knows that. I actually have a couple of your supporters that have come over and been like, I support the Rams because it's the same Leeds colors.
Oh,
but I don't support the Rams.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's literally the same. So you guys can't be cheering for them this weekend, just so you know. It's bang, bang, Niner gang all the way.
Don't beat them too hard. Don't beat them too hard. That's just mean. No, we got to be nice. We got to look after them.
We have to beat the bricks off them, man. Because if we don't, people are going to be like, "Oh, Brock Purdy, our quarterback, is not good enough because he didn't throw this many touchdowns against the disheveled Rams team. Like he's not elite. We're going to talk about him all week again, like they did this past friggin' week so far." So no, they need to beat the bricks off them.
How about just beat them a little bit? Just a little bit.
They have no tie to Leeds, though. Okay, we are literally tied to you guys. We give you some finances and help and whatever else we do. I still am confused at what we do, but
I am also confused because I don't know if it's just the name of the investment arm, if it's brand. I don't. It's fun, but as far as I can tell, last time the 49ers played the Rams, you lost by a point.
Yeah. That was not fun. Wait, let's look. Are you sure? I thought that we swept them last year.
No, you lost 21-20, and they scored 14 points in the second half compared to your 0. Which is good.
Okay, seems well, good. We're not going to talk about that because you know what? We ended up in the Super Bowl last year, and they did not, so it's fine. They had kind of a sneaky bad
pretty
season.
Fair flex. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we lost in the Super Bowl. It's still better to get there than to not, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We had another question for you, but I can't find stuff. If we disagree with you, Joe, will you block me?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I've been told by some others that that's the way to go. It's not the way to go. It's very much not the way to go. I can't see the auto mod stuff, by the way. Just to clarify, what happened in the auto mod stuff? But yeah, it's no. The way that I've always phrased it in this channel is, and I will phrase it like this again. Disagree? Sure, fantastic, seems good. If you have a different opinion, I have zero issue with that. Everyone will at some point. It's when it turns to like being abusive and being rude and horrible to people. Just off you go. Bye bye. There's no need. Why are you here if you're just going to be horrible to people?
We don't like assholes.
I mean, some people probably do. But how do some 49ers fans don't like Parag? How does Crystal feel? Do 49ers fans not like Parag?
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of 49ers fans that don't like a lot of people that have anything to do with the organization, the front office, like the players, whoever it is. I like Parag. I think he's a good dude. I think he's made some great decisions. He's been financially aware of, what we need to do in order to get things done. And like our guys have been paid that we want out on the field. We saw this with Brandon Ayuk this past week or past offseason. He got paid. Trent Williams got paid. All the guys, like they're trying to keep the band together so we can go back to the Super Bowl. And Parag has a lot to do with that. So I feel like I have nothing bad to say about him. He does a good job. I couldn't do his job. You know what I mean? Like, who am I to say that this guy's not doing his job right? At the end of the day, we still want to win a ring. We want a championship. But I mean, a lot of teams aren't where we are. A lot of teams haven't even sniffed playoffs. And we've had Parag for a while now, and he's done just fine. So I like him. What's not to like?
Yeah, he seems fine enough, I think.
Fine enough, exactly.
I have seen your message, Evie, and I will pass it on. Do you feel a sense of warmth developing towards Leeds, or are we scaring you off?
No, I will say, like, I genuinely, this is like one of my favorite things each week because I get to learn about a team that I have never really looked into this league before, even though I think I told you my dad's a Watford fan. It's kind of one of those things that like, it's because of the Udinese tie in there and everything, but I do feel a warmth towards it. I feel like the fans, you guys are incredible. So that helps a lot, obviously. Joe's super passionate about the team. So that definitely helps too, because like you want somebody that's the same vibe, like I don't cheer for a team if people are being negative. I'm not a fan of that. I honestly, I feel like if people are like that, I don't want to be a part of that. So Joe's doing a really good job at making me feel like, no, this is a good squad to cheer for. So, and I think there's a lot of optimism going into, this season where they finished last year. They should be up there on the top again this next coming year. So that's exciting. I feel like it's a good year to hitch my bandwagon to the team. So yeah, of course I am. And I do feel like once I get to a game, which we're really planning for me to do this against Watford, I believe, I think that the warmth is just going to grow even bigger because then I'll probably get myself like a hat or something. You guys, me and my hats. I get a hat from everywhere I go.
It's going to be a hat.
Yeah, it's got to be a hat or a scarf, but I think I'll dress warm enough that I don't need a scarf. Scarves are kind of weird. You can't wear them all the time. I don't know. I like hats because you can wear them a lot more than a scarf. But yeah, scarves are great to hang on a wall. But I want something that's like more, practical. For me, a hat is practical. Nothing against the scarf people out there.
It's going to be the 22nd of October on a cold Tuesday night. Yeah, it's not going to be toasty.
Yeah, I'll wear a big jacket. I want to wear like a cute jacket. You don't want to ruin the jacket with a scarf. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah.
Everybody, have you noticed? Can I say something? Have you guys noticed that when you go to games, or I've noticed a lot with football matches out this side, like on this side of the world, like in Milan, for example, everybody's all wearing just black jackets. Like just black. It's always black.
That's a very Italian thing, I think.
Is it?
It's not necessarily the case over here.
Okay.
Because people tend to like wear the shirt more and stuff like that. I think with Italy, it's a case of ultra culture being a very, very, very big thing.
Okay. And it's not the same there then. That's nice.
Yeah, we had a period in which that sort of ultra culture in the UK turned into violence culture, which the government stamped down on real hard. So it's significantly less of a thing now.
So literally the black jacket signifies that?
Basically, yeah. It's as Jim said, ultras tend to wear black. Yeah.
No, I thought it was just like a fashion thing. I don't know. It's like, why is everyone in black? Like, wear your colors, support your team. Like, why even go if you're not going to wear it? But then they got their big flags and everything, and it's fine. They're still supporting. But I don't know. I like to come through in like something exciting. You want to stand out. You don't want to be all black.
I don't know whether for that match I'm going to go with the yellow away shirt or the third shirt. I don't know if have you seen the third shirt, the purple one?
I think you showed it to me, and I think I vibed with that one.
Yeah, that's the one that, as a result of losing a bet with the stream, I need to get for myself without an acca on the back.
Why?
Because the challenge was basically awesome. Yeah, it does. But it was a case of I was doing a stream a couple of days before deadline day, and I was like, right, cool. If I can get to 5,000 subscribers before this plane that we are watching lands, then I have to get this shirt. And then it happened, and it was great.
I feel like that's a win-win situation.
I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. They eat their pasta, and then they go to the game. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't think it had to do with the ultra stuff. Like, that's way... See, my mind doesn't even go to the negative. It always goes to positive. But then you explain it to me.
That's why you're welcome on this channel.
Yes, positive vibes only.
We do also have a big not like of the colour red because Manchester United.
Okay, so I cannot wear the red when I come to the game.
I would,
but I was going to say
firmly go against wearing red.
I was going to say though, because yellow is one of the colors. Is gold acceptable? Because gold and yellow kind of go together. Kind of, sort of. Do we like gold?
Kind of ish. Yeah, it's fine. I think. I don't think it's anything special or snazzy. But I'd say just firmly not red.
Okay. Sad.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. I've got like 7,000 Leeds shirts, so I might just lend you one. It's fine. I want the Black Managers one. Which Black Managers one? You want about like the training one? Oh, I know the one you mean. Right, okay, hold on. I'm gonna do a quick screen share. That one is the one that I think is being meant by the black training one.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad. Yeah.
You know what? It's a vibe. It kind of goes with everything.
Yeah.
I like the sides. Yep.
Yeah. I think my favorite training kit of the season is this one. This is nice. This is very sidey, slashy. Very nice. I like the blue. Anyway, this is not related. I'm going to go through a couple more questions. When will you be at Church, Elland Road, to witness a great atmosphere and a win? I guess we're going to go with the Watford one, right? That's what we'll be saying. Yeah.
That makes the most sense because I'm going to Newcastle, and from Newcastle, I'll be coming down there. I think that's not too far. I'm not sure.
It's not too bad.
You're gonna have to help me with the train system, man. I know nothing.
Oh God, what's it'll be East Coast, I think, so it's fine. It'll work out. Where else were we looking? Have you got a bet forfeit lined up if you get to 10k by the new year? I can do. It's not going to happen because the rate of growth that a YouTube channel gets after the transfer window ends is down. It's not even just worse growth, it's negative. It's not good. That one is not going to happen at all. No.
What's a mankini? Like, I can kind of guess. Is that Borat? Is that like what Borat wears?
Yeah. I was going to say, have you seen Borat? There we go. If you win, you have to come to all the home games. This is also true. Yeah. It's a home game against Watford. We're not away. It's fine. It's all good. We do not need to go to Watford. It's okay.
Yeah. So it's just Newcastle to Leeds, which is nice. I've been to Leeds before too, and I loved it. Leeds is a fun little place. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think the way that I tend to phrase it is it's a shithole, but it's not a shithole, so it's great.
But you know what? It has Taco Bell, and I'm excited to have Taco Bell again. So I haven't had Taco Bell in a long time. I know you're gonna listen. I live in Italy. I have some of the best food in the world here, but like I miss like the greasy, disgusting food that I can get back home. You know, I miss it. You guys gotta feel me on this. I'm sure you guys have your little cheat meals. Taco Bell is the best. It's like the crunch wrap. I love the crunch wrap. Oh, so good.
Hold on.
Or the cheesy gordita crunch. That one's really good too. Oh my God. You guys got me talking about tacos. I'm starting to drool a little bit.
I'll just be straight with you. Our tacos, not great. Meet up at the stadium. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. It depends on if you're also Watford matching, I suppose. But I don't know. When are we getting visuals on the new stadium? I think that'll be in the coming weeks, like Angus discussed in the Square Ball podcast interview thing that he did. And
a new stadium is coming?
Expansion to the current stadium.
Oh, okay. Fun.
Because basically the club has never not been in this stadium. So to do a completely new stadium would be borderline blasphemy, I think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that. Wouldn't suggest that. But yeah. And we are going to take, I believe, one more question for Questions Corner because I need to be off at like 1:15, but we also need to discuss bits and bobs after the stream anyway. So the next question we will call the final question. Anything that comes to mind at all, no matter how stupid it is, because I know you guys and I know that stupid questions are what we do. How big could Elland Road get theoretically? Any idea? That's a question that I can't actually answer.
Next.
Has anyone got a question that I can answer? Because then that would be fine. I think the goal is like maybe expandable to 60k, but I'm not sure. Finally, have you ever had a Yorkshire pudding?
Of course I have. Guys, I've lived in Canada. I've worked at so many different pubs and everything. One of the pubs that I worked at did like homemade Yorkshire puddings and they were fantastic. Absolutely amazing. So yes, I have had them.
That's because all Yorkshire puddings are fantastic. That's how it works. Yeah. It's great.
So delicious.
Anyway, with that, we're going to wrap the stream up. I forgot the word for stream then. That was good. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, pop a like on it. That's always really appreciated. It helps it get pushed out after the fact, and that is always brilliant, and it means more people get involved in the nice little natters that we're having. Subscribe to me and to Crystal. Her tag is in the title at the moment, I think. Yes, just had a look. And yeah, could even become a channel member. It's 99p for a month, and you get a bunch of early videos and stuff. That'd be nice. Hope you enjoyed. You're apparently an adopted Yorkshire lass, and we shall see you later. Toodaloo.